we chased that we chased him into the end zone how many times?
Well, it was the first black middle linebacker. I tell people all the time, you know, the best thing ever happened was that the AFL started.
Dog, give me some dog. Take it inside. Take it inside.
Because at the time, the American Football League was formed and opportunities for players from historically black colleges became a great currency for the American Football League. Our skills were equal to anyone, anywhere, and many of us felt that our opportunity to present something to basically the sports world, because not only could you play, but you could speak clearly.
Well, I feel we've been doing a very consistent job. I think
you had graduated from an institution of higher learning, and you had all of the attributes that anyone else might have.
A lot of room here, Wilbur. Watch the quick one, Will.
Well, he was kind of like a coach. He in the middle, you know. He takes charge.
Watch the option. Give me something. Big down.
Nice going, babies. Nice going, Willie.
Everybody became better. And that's the whole ideal of what we as a country and a society constantly should hope to achieve.
Is just about the happiest man in the world right now. Weeb Ewbank, head coach of the Baltimore Colts, who have just won their first championship.
Weeb Ewbank won the two most important games in the history of pro football.
United States begins to Amici, and the ball game is over. And the Baltimore Colts are the professional football champions of the world.
We played football for 100 years. The two most important games in the history of football. The greatest game ever played, and then Super Bowl III.
He's in there, still scoring. The game is over. The New York Jets are the world champions.
You know, I know his record was around 500. I get it. But maybe he had something to do with this.
Randall Cunningham. He's my favorite player.
And a marvelous athletic play.
I remember him doing a nice helicopter trying to punch the ball into the end zone. My cousins and I tried to emulate that for about a week straight.
Randall. I looked up to Randall Cunningham growing up.
That's where I feel look good on you, baby.
Oh, right on,
Feel look good on you. Do your thing, brother. I will.
He kind of shocked the world and showed what he really could do as far as mobility.
The Randall Jones.
I honestly think Randall should get some credit for the way some of these scrambling quarterbacks play today.
He moved with great fluidity, and he played the game with a lot of creativity, and he wasn't afraid to put his body on the line to ensure his team's success.
I think we're looking at Plastic Man.
That's something that I found very inspirational and something that I wanted to be.
I remember Brian Song, the movie, very, very well. It was one of the saddest movies I think I've ever seen.
The story that was behind it is such a great lesson. Piccolo was just a good, tough football player, and Gale Sayers was great.
Gale Sayers, the superstar.
Gale Sayers, the superstar, befriends Brian Piccolo. They become so close, and it leads to the great story.
Gale Sayers.
Yeah.
Hey, Brian Piccolo.
When that movie came out, there were a lot of teams that didn't have black guards or didn't have center, quarterback, positions you couldn't play. But you saw two guys come together with no racial problem at all, as two human beings trying to do one thing.
You and me starting backfield. What do you say?
It's what football is about. It's about the relationships you have with people that you would have never known you to have that relationship.
I'll see you tomorrow.
You say so? And it's a wonderful learning tool for life.
Oh, you try to go into the game feeling that you're better than the receiver. You want to try to intimidate them.
When you have a guy that is versatile enough to not only go to the Pro Bowl at the cornerback position, but to go to the Pro Bowl at the safety position, is a tremendous thing to have.
Safeties used to just basically be corners that could help you cover. And Ronnie Lott was the first guy where you're like, he's dangerous.
He was the woo hitter of all time. That's what he's known for. Meaning when he hit somebody, You hear the whole crowd go, ooh.
I just try to look right at his numbers, and most times I'll try to go right through his numbers.
They read it. I tell you what, Ronnie Lott read the coast.
Interceptions, big hits, whatever you needed him to do, he can do it.
To give to Woods, sweeping the outside, cuts back in, and he nails. Ronnie Lott coming up and really put a belt on it.
Ronnie Lott, if you watch this, you are the man.
I played 11 and a half years. I never got hurt. Why? Because I was going full speed all the time.
There's old Sam on the left.
Yeah, the violent world of Sam Huff. Remember that?
Yeah.
I'm Walter Cronkite. If you were a professional football player, the middle linebacker of the New York Football Giants, this is what it would be like. This is our story, the violent world of Sam Huff.
You know, where Sam became famous was the fact that he did a special for CBS called The Violent World of Sam Huff.
The running, passing, kicking halfback used to be Saturday's football hero. Today, a man whose job is not to score, but to stop the score, is now Sunday's idol.
It kind of elevated not just him, but the middle linebacker position in the eyes of people as being the quarterback of the defense. Things kind of changed with Sam bringing in a linebacker position attention.
Sam Huff won more publicity for the pro game's defensive maneuvers than any other player. The annual game between the Collegiate All-Stars and the National League champion, this game staged by its famous sports editor, Arch Ward.
What made it so big, Ward was behind it. He's the one that invented the baseball All-Star Game. And then they said, well, let's have a football All-Star Game.
Over 80,000 people crowd Chicago's Mammoth Soldiers Field to see the game.
He was the kingmaker of that. And I remember going to the first 2 or 3. They would light up Soldiers Field, and the All-Stars would come out in their uniforms, and you thought the President of the United States was coming out there. They were so big, the crowd there was nothing ever like it.
Johnny Unitas passes in the flat, but Dick Night Train Lane intercepts.
Night Train was the greatest defensive back as far as size that ever played the game. He was larger than a lot of offensive linemen. And when he hit you, it wasn't like, who hit me? You're out.
Night Train, still one of the great nicknames in all of sports. He did impact the rules. It became known as the Night Train necktie, and he would hit guys with his arm under the chin and lay them out. He finally brought in the rule that eliminated the clothesline.
Just a dynamic guy, and he was very serious about his ball playing.
In week 2, 2001, the Patriots were playing the New York Jets, and I don't think anybody thought of them as a premier team in the NFL at the time, but they had the highest paid quarterback in football, in Drew Bledsoe.
Big play for the Patriots. Bledsoe gonna run, needs 10 yards. Oh, does he hit? Oh my.
It was the hardest hit I've ever heard.
Oh, look at Drew. This is the more critical to the Patriots' hopes. Mo Lewis right into the path of Bledsoe.
Mo Lewis, he was the guy that actually started Tom Brady's career. Bledsoe was running down the sideline. He hit Bledsoe. Bledsoe left the game, and here comes in Captain America.
Second-year quarterback Tom Brady is in the game. Apparently, Drew Bledsoe might be feeling the effects of the hit by Mo Lewis.
Drew Bledsoe went down. Brady came in and took them to the Super Bowl. So that was it, and they never looked back.
In the early 2000s, they won 3 of 4. Now they have won 3 of the last 5.
Damn you, Mo. Gosh, you know how many different Super Bowl winners we would have had if you would have just let Drew stay in there, man. You got us this Tom Brady guy. He don't want to retire, don't know when to retire. Screw you, Tom Brady.
Split end Homer Jones, number 45.
He's one of the fastest players in the league, so he'd always be catching those long passes. And of course, he was the first guy spiking the football. So he would score a touchdown, get across the goal line, and then spike the football. you kind of look forward to it, and it brought on the advent of celebrations. You know, we see all these really choreographed and wild celebrations today, but Homer's the first guy that did it. And actually, my first jersey, 45 blue.